I was gonna put my thing on. Oh, now
You're
we're live. We
You're
are
live.
live. Wow.
You're
This
live.
only took we're live. This only took what, 48 hours to get this done. We saw everybody else doing it.
48 hours. That's all we need. We're on a
That's all
high
we needed.
learning curve.
No, it was because our guest today. Hello and welcome to the Canvas Podcast, recording live from my home, Matt's home, and Leo's home in Berwick, Pennsylvania. Matt is in
Boynton Beach.
Boynton Beach, and I am in Boynton Beach. We'll have Derik chiming in a minute from Boynton Beach. Welcome.
This is episode 30.
Episode 30. Who would have thought that we would be quarantined on episode 30, recording in our houses and having a guest in from Pennsylvania? And I don't know how to show off everybody's gonna have to bear with us because I have to do my do not disturb. I don't know how to do this. Shoot. This is my computer. I didn't press do not disturb. Hold on a second.
Well, yeah, put the do not disturb on and no one will disturb you.
Oh, anyway, so I hope everybody is. I'm glad to see everybody smiling and laughing with everything that's going on. And so we wanted to get together, and we will get Jessica to come on. I know we're texting right now. I'm trying to figure out where she is and get Brian on. But we have a guest today, Leo Talanca, right? Did I say it right?
Talanca.
Okay, Talanca.
Right.
And
Talanca.
so
Leo Talanca.
Leo Talanca. And the reason, it's funny because Leo called me. I'm gonna throw you out right here, right now. And Leo called me and said, "So, are you still doing the podcast?" I said, "Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to do it remotely." And he says, "Good, because I want to come on." I said, "We want to have you on."
I'm bored to death.
So he said, "I'm bored to death. Have me on the podcast." And then Matt said, "Everybody else is doing it." So, and I'm like, we actually have good stuff to talk about. Not that everybody else doesn't, but we want to share with the community some things about what Leo's doing at Rocky's Boxing Gym in Berwick, Pennsylvania. So Derik Santos, my coach, and I were invited, and actually we were hosted by the PAL to come out to support you guys. Sophia Guerrero, which a lot of you may have seen, Sophia and Nicole on my my Instagram, my Facebook, that they were here recently to visit. But I had gone out to Berwick, Pennsylvania with Derik to go on to attend one of your amateur shows. And what impressed me was that you had 9 or 8 female bouts.
Yep, 9.
Yeah. 9 female bouts, which is unheard of in amateurs. But I want to go all the way back to how this started, because I remember when you and I first talked, which was we talked back in September, right? Or something. No, I think it was September, October. We talked for the first time.
It was November. When we first
November.
Talked, was September.
It was September. And we were talking about me and Derik coming out, and, you shared your vision and your dream. So, share a little bit on how this all started with Rocky Boxing.
So Rocky Boxing started. Can you hear me? I lost you for a minute.
Yeah, we got you.
Yes, so we hear you.
Yep. Rocky Boxing. I used to more football players, wrestlers, baseball players in my base years. I also coached baseball and softball. I played, and then one day I introduced boxing to all the athletes because they trimmed down and strength, and they were a lot better. And some other kids weren't athletes heard what I was doing, and they were like, "Hey, can we come up to your house?" And so I up to the house, and then I said to my wife, "We might as well just open a place in town." And
okay, he's cutting out there a little. Oh, we just lost him. Yeah.
And
so when he comes back, we'll it's interesting what he said, that he was working with baseball players, right?
Yeah.
And then he said when he taught them boxing, they became better baseball players.
Yeah. So I trained a baseball player back in Yonkers. He was a pitcher, and I trained him in boxing. And just the explosiveness and it's good to cross train. Football players do it. Teddy Atlas went out to meet with the Jets, and he worked with the Jets and had them doing some boxing stuff too. I'm gonna send I can see if I can send Leo his I think he should come on.
Well, this is our first time, so people just have to bear with us. What else are you going to do? Watch the news? No, you don't want to watch the news. If you are, the people that are watching on Facebook, if you have a question or a comment, you can type it in the comments section.
I don't have live comments. Is anybody watching?
I have it. Yeah, there's a couple of people on. Yeah, I see them. There's a couple of people on. If you have a comment or you want to say something or say hi or give a shout out, or we'll give a shout out to you, just type something in. We know everyone's pretty much cooped up inside, especially people around here. So let us know what you're thinking. Okay, I think we got Leo back.
Oh, is he back? I sent him my email to the link. I don't know where Derik is.
Okay.
There he is. But he's frozen. I emailed you the link. Can you hear me?
I'm doing it right now.
Are you on your email?
Yeah.
Okay, he's coming in a little better now.
1 second.
But we got you now.
Yeah, we got you.
You guys look so bright and fresh, and I look so dark and grim.
Sunscreen. Wear your sunscreen.
I do wear sunscreen. Of course I wear. Not that kind of dark.
Oh, it's the room.
Right in the heart of it, and I lost it.
The light. So you're training some kids in and then you had them. So you're talking to your wife, who is amazing, might I add, because any wife that hears her husband comes home and says, "Hey, let's just open a gym. I've got kids training in my house. I got kids training. Let's just open a gym." So it wasn't just let's open a gym. What did you have to actually invest in this?
No, it was I'm a guy that was very helpful to help support everyone. The support of my wife being behind it because we're never home, and her supporting me is not being able to do it. Found building, bought the building, fixed it up, and it just seems that I like them, and I knew these people, and this, that, and the other. That's not how it happened. I bought the building. We were soon.
Okay, I think we're losing Leo a little bit, but we got Derik on.
Hi, Derik.
Hello, everybody.
I don't know if Leo, you want to, I think he should try to come on via
found
email.
One of my name is Abel, and his wife.
Can he hear us? I think he should go on via email. You think the computer's better? Because we're not getting any of his story.
Yeah.
Let's boot him off, and then I'll send him the
Okay. All right. How you doing, Derik?
Pretty good. How about yourself? How's everybody doing?
We're doing okay. We're trying to get this first podcast up. We're having a little technical difficulty. I don't know if it's maybe because he's all the way in Pennsylvania. Who knows?
He's in Berwick, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Berwick, Pennsylvania.
We were in Berwick. Come here. I got Trudy, so wants to say hello to everybody.
So for people that don't know where Berwick is, including myself, that's real rural? Is that near Amish Town, or is that near?
How many hours did we drive from the airport, Derik? We flew into Newark, and we drove about 4 hours from Newark.
Maybe a little less, but I think it was more like around maybe I want to say 2.5, 3, something like that, maybe.
So were you in the mountains and stuff like that?
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, the scenery on the way there. Of course, there was a little snow here and there on the floor, but mostly dry, and you could see, the leaves, and you're going through a lot of the towns as you go through, a lot of highways. We were able to go through Easton, which of course is the home of the famed Larry Holmes.
Right.
And then we drove by, and then we drove through. You said, "Oh, Deer Lake," and then that's when you started telling me the story about Muhammad Ali's camp. And then when we were up at the gym, then one of the coaches from Rocky Boxing mentioned Deer Lake, and I was like, Derik, he knows where it is. And then we got a private. Would you look
Tour.
at this animal?
We got a private tour of the Deer Lake camp.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we'll post pictures of that because boxing
That was
fans, when they
cool.
see pictures of that and they've seen you've seen the pictures of Muhammad Ali training there and
Yeah,
outside
it
and
was
sitting on the porch and all that.
it was amazing. The energy there, the feel. It's almost like I know that may sound whatever cheesy or whatever, but it's almost like you felt him there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I felt that.
And-
Well, that's how I
and-
felt when I went to Graceland. When I went to
Yeah.
Graceland, when I felt Elvis was there.
Well, Elvis is still alive. We all know that.
Oh yeah.
He was probably watching you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And it was amazing to see how the pictures corresponded with what was still, what was actually there. They've remodeled a few, or I should say, not really remodeled, but renovated, I guess, a few things.
Well, no, they not renovated really. They upkept.
Yeah,
Stuff.
yeah, and some of the other things that they're going to open in the future that needed a little bit of repair. That said, like, I mean, I can imagine those times, and I could have, as a fighter, I could have only loved to have been invited to that.
We got a Zio Paulie said, "Hey, Maureen and Coach D, what's good?" Oh, it's Laz. Laz is on.
Yeah.
Laz, we're trying to get Leo back.
We got our first comment here. All
Is
right,
Laz. Is he back?
He's coming back. It says
Leo.
Right.
No, where's Leo?
Leo. Let's try and get him on.
Say good things about your hometown. Yeah, we got Leo coming on. All right, now what do you want? Are you back?
Hey.
Oh, now we got him.
Leo, what's
Can you
good,
hear me?
man? How are you?
Is that
Yeah,
better?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you great now.
All right.
All right,
So
good.
glad to see you.
All right, so finish your story. So we got to you. So you bought the building. You're a contractor. You bought the building. Laz is watching, by the way, and he told us to talk good about his hometown. Did you hear me?
Yeah, you should be able to see that on the screen now.
Oh, okay. Okay. So go on and talk about. So you're a contractor, and then you opened up the gym, and then so what happened there? How did you open it?
Yep.
How did you get the funding? How did you get the help?
The funding was all me and my wife spent all our money. Basically, I didn't ask for a loan. I didn't go after any money. We did it all out of our pocket, and then we everything on the place. Like I met Abel and Jen through a friend, and then I met another guy. His name's Rin. Also, he's a school teacher out of Northwest. And then my buddy is George Zapata. He had about 30 amateur fights to our area, and I became friends with him about 20 years ago.
He's the bread maker, right?
Like
Is he the bread maker?
He's the bagel.
The bagel
Yes.
maker. That's right. I gotta eat one of those bagels. He owes me some bagels.
Yes. Yep. And then, then we met. He opened up. I had no clue but everything just seemed to fall in place. Then we just started doing. Naturally, I went on YouTube and I looked up stuff, and then.
But can I say something? I feel like a lot of gyms start like that. Like they don't know what they're doing, and they just kind of like organically just, especially boxing gyms. You know what I mean? But then that's what gives boxing, I feel like it's character. Because if any boxing gym you go into, and I've been in, and I'm sure Derik has too, quite a few boxing gyms across the world. Everyone has its own kind of character, its own personality. And you wonder, like, how did this even start? I'm sure there was at least one person going, I don't know what the hell we're doing, but we're going to make this work.
That's right. That's what we did. And, my biggest thing is help.
Yeah.
I want to keep the kids off the street, which naturally every boxing gym says the same thing,
Yeah.
I have some personal issues with a family member, has trouble with drugs and alcohol. And, I don't want that to lead into these other kids, with the meth and the
heroin and all that stuff. So my wife and I figured it was worth all the money that we put in there. And as of right now, we're saving many lives because there's a lot of kids that needed what we did. And I'm very thankful for, all the people that support us, like I met you guys through Laz. Laz, I went to school with Laz. He's a great guy. He's been my friend my life. He said, hey, you ought to, I'm going to hook you up with Maureen and Derik and you guys talk and maybe something will work out. And it's like I've known you guys forever. And that's what I falls into place.
Yeah.
It just,
well, that's
everything.
That's kind of how we feel. I know Derik and I independently have gone through similar things in boxing, and we've met people, and people just become like family, and that's what boxing, I think, brings people together, because from where we all these different kinds of backgrounds, people gravitate towards boxing for different reasons. And I always say, you've got to be a little crazy to be a part of this sport, but it's all like we have a similar crazy, and a similar love, because it's definitely like its own fraternity, so to say,
Well, I gotta say this, Leo, for man, God bless you and your wife and your friends in the community, because honestly, a lot of people get ideas, and obviously, some can't do anything about it. Others, you're my type of guy. If I would have it myself, I just do it myself. I don't ask, for this or that, the other. I do it myself, and that should be wholly commendable. You guys obviously took a tremendous risk, and decided, those are things that, it's your family's, future down the line, and you decided to invest that into the community, and that's amazing. That should be praised.
So, Leo, I have a question for you. Has anyone in the community helped you as far as financing? They have to see that you're doing a good service for the kids in your neighborhood, all right, in your town. Has anyone ever offered to help? Like here, like in Boca, they have the Police Athletic League, and they, Go ahead.
No. What we do is, the downstairs is all weight, so we have a lot of men, and they support the gym by having a membership, so everybody can afford it. And I run classes in the morning and at night, and I pays for the gym. Now, when I do my events, I reach out to the local businesses to help me pay for the event, because a lot of it costs about $9,500 before the first. And so I get I get some donations from people in town that keep us rolling.
Now, talk about your events. How many events have you had so far? Yeah, we hear you. How many events have you had so far?
5. I've had 5
successful events. I mean, we're talking how many? So you're having actual amateur boxing shows.
Breaking up on that one. I had 5 events.
You're having.
You're losing the sound a little.
Get there for a little bit.
That sounds like.
It's interesting. It's interesting what he talked about with the sanctioning, because a lot of people don't understand that either. Because some people will say, how come people just don't throw these amateur shows? And you don't realize that you have to pay, unless you get a volunteer doctor, whatever, but you have to pay for EMS to be there. A lot of times, where you're going to throw the venue. Usually the local amateur boxing commissions have, a sanctioning fee. They need everybody, no matter how much time you want to volunteer and how much you have to volunteer, you got to understand that light costs, electricity, water, things cost something. So you always end up having to pay something, and
Yeah.
a lot of it goes into these shows. A lot of organization that people don't understand behind the scenes. It's a big undertaking, so that is often why it's not that easy to just snap your fingers and say, "Oh, we're gonna throw a show."
But we went to one of Leo's shows, and I got to say, it was probably one of the best amateur, one of the better amateur shows that I've been to. Seeing how everything was run and how you had auctioned off, you had stuff to auction off. You walk in and then you have everybody, you have your auction stuff. You got, we were signing autographs, and then you had the people in the cafeteria selling food. You had you packed the place. There was a lot of people there to support these young amateurs.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. It's difficult down here to do that.
Yeah, Leo, you're on a little bit of a delay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on a delay.
Yes.
Yep. And the officials actually fight over who's going to come to our show because they love coming to it. They say it's basically it's ran like a pro. I'm very thankful.
It really was
to everything that everybody says. So it's and I'm done. I'm looking at my wife right now, but I want to keep going. I know there's more out there for me to do, and that's what I'm to do. There's a reason, and I feel that whatever you put your heart into, and if you're passionate about it, it's gonna be right behind you.
Exactly. And it's for the goodness of the kids and the goodness of the community that you're doing that. Hey, get Tori in there. Let me see her face. Let me see her beautiful face. Where is she?
Oh God, right here.
She's like, I don't want to be seen. Hey, listen, I got quarantine hair. Let me see your face.
You could be embarrassing her right now. How do you know she's,
It's all right. She
It's all right.
She don't mind. There she is. There she is. We want to see the woman behind the man. That's right.
Yeah. That's right.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Honestly, I couldn't do any of it without her because if she wasn't gonna support me,
Yeah. Well, that's a lot. It's a lot of investments, a lot of your time. But I love that she's there doing your classes. Now, you're just not invested in you're not just invested in the gym. You're invested in the kids, like personally. You came out here to Boca, yourself and Tori, and with Sofia Guerrero and her mom and dad, and you came out with Nicole Mahone and her mom and dad, and you came and trained with us, with Derik, and you trained with Phil Daru, with my strength coach. That's an investment. It's your heart. And those two young girls.
It was great. Oh, it was wonderful. And I really hope, I kept saying to my wife, at night, I'd say, I hope these girls realize what, to meet all these people, to train with a world champion and a world champion trainer, and to spar with you. I'd say to her all the time, I hope they realize what happened,
Yeah. No, I think they do, and if they don't right now, they will. But they both seem very. Listen, they both seem very level-headed, very focused, and really appreciative. They love you. They love you. They look at you like, you're like their best friend. You know what I mean? I think that's such a huge testament to you. And I said, listen, as a female, it's very hard to find trainers that know how to train women, and that understand us and that are willing to work with us. So that was a huge thing for me to see that with you, and it's not easy, right? Derik can tell you training the women isn't easy, but it's different. It's not that it's not easy. It's different. And, but when the women are committed, we'll work very hard.
Yeah. Oh, no. And to honestly train over the males any day, just because they listen, and really they listen, they want to learn, their hardest thing with the females is finding an opponent for them. That
Yeah.
you
So
know,
talk a little bit about that and how that's been challenging for you with the girls.
Oh, that I mean, Sophia's ranked right now. Right now, she's currently ranked 810 pound. And we were training hard for the Junior Olympics, but I don't know if that's even going to go through anymore. I know that they canceled the Olympics, so I was
They postponed it, yeah.
Now, you know, finding them opponents extremely hard. And
but you always see. But listen, you had nine girls on your last show though, and you matched all those girls up, and there were some pretty good fights.
I know.
I've never seen nine female fights in an amateur show here.
I said that myself. Never saw it down here, and it was amazing you guys got that together. And like Maureen said, there was some very good fights.
Oh, it was great. And we're hoping, right, Maureen? 17 on it, right? 17,
yep.
34 girls. That's the goal.
Yep.
That's the goal. If we could pull that off, that would be, and we can.
Yep.
We can pull it off. There's no
I mean,
why we can't.
you were able to do that.
You got. Oh my God, that would be great.
That would be. I mean, I don't know any other. I mean, I know they had I know they did a tournament recently, and they did a tournament recently in Atlanta, an all-female tournament too. So I mean, hey, you know, it's being done, and it's good that they have that. I mean, you know, it's happening more and more now.
It's heading in the right direction.
Right.
Like I've said many times in interviews, it's finally good that the young women and the older professional women are starting to get the recognition they deserve. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, you got to understand the training is the same. You know, they're getting punched just the same. And I just think sometimes people aren't used to that, but they're sacrificing their training just as hard, and they deserve respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, like what? No, go ahead, Leo. Go ahead.
Oh, the problem with the females is I feel they get stepped over because the males money don't get no more money, and they're paid way too less to females, and it's just not fair. It's not fair to a female in their training just as hard, if not harder, than some males. And in my opinion, females train harder because they're trying to prove something to the male.
Well, we have to fight for more. We definitely have to fight. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's one of those things that unfortunately, you know, just like in the executive ranks, how long, you know, it's been proven, it's fact, and that, you know, executives are paid often 30% less across the board, you know, in different businesses. And I'm not blaming any particular man and you know, specifically. It's just sort of kind of like the industries and the time in this country, in all countries, actually, really, in all countries, how it goes by and what the role of the women is considered. And so now, you know, little by little, it's heading in the right direction. And that's all we can say. You know, it's a good thing, you know, and we just appreciate that everybody's, you know, starting to respect a little more and at least giving them opportunities. The way I see it, you know, hopefully maybe in 10 years, you know, the young women in America and across the world, it will not be a strange thing, because you still got people out there going, you know, like it's something new and a little weird. And hopefully that won't be the case, you know, 5 to 10 years, hopefully it'll be the norm and it'll be okay.
But I want to talk a little bit more about Leo, the fact that you're keeping these young girls active, and the men and the boys too. It's not just the girls. You've got my little favorite. He's like a little Arturo Gatti. What's my favorite? That's George's son.
Oh, Landon.
Oh, Landon. Remember Landon, Derik? Listen,
Yeah,
you cannot forget Landon. Matt, you would have loved it. This kid he's all about the show. He was, like, let's go. Like, oh my God. How old is he? How old is he?
Right now he's 9.
He had the crowd, Matt. He had the crowd into it. He was literally like waving the crowd on as he's fighting, like cheering more for me. Let's go. Let's go.
At 9. I mean, this kid was
showboating at 9 years old.
Completely.
Huh?
Dropping his hands.
Does he have an Instagram?
He's a big, for 9 years old, I'll tell you that right now. 9 years old, he's a big draw.
I need my Landon t-shirt. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that kid too.
Yeah, if he has an Instagram, we'll promote him.
Absolutely. And he got the job done.
Yeah,
it wasn't like he was just doing that, because
mom and dad won't have that, right?
Good, smart.
Mo, what were you asking me? You broke up there when you were trying.
I want a t-shirt. I want a Landon Zapata t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh. If you're gonna have charisma, you better be good.
Thunder,
Landon. And he definitely fought well and had the charisma.
Yeah, we can have him on the show. Yeah, the thing with that, his parents can run the Instagram. His parents can run the Instagram to show pitches and fight highlights and things like that.
Oh yeah, he's that kid. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Next time, get everybody on the show. Yeah.
We got to get him on. We'll do amateur hour with Landon. Oh my God, we got to have him on.
That'd be awesome. Well, we have some kids here that we know also that are around. I don't know if any of them are 9. But,
yeah.
He's
a good kid, man. That kid's a good kid.
So Leo,
but
do you see?
There's more in store for kickboxing.
Yeah, Leo, do you see now? Do you see in Berwick and the surrounding areas? Do you see now more interest in general in amateur boxing? And that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Definitely.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I sometimes.
Every day we get a new kid.
That's great. That's great. Because I know that sometimes parents think that, boxing is a bad sport. But really, I tell them not to think about, the professionals or that side of it, but to think of it more that the things involved in boxing, which take a lot of discipline, and all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff goes up to any part of life, whether it's school, whether they get a job somewhere else, the principles that behind it, and how you have to dedicate yourself. It can be used in all forms of life. And that's why I tell parents, it's not even about them competing or try not to think about them getting hit, but just think about them being involved, supporting each other. But also because it's an individual sport, they learn that skill in life that I have to do it,
Yeah. Well, it creates that discipline, and a lot of the kids aren't even a part of something. They're not baseball players, or they're afraid to go out for a track or become a wrestler or play football, and now they're a part of a team. Boxing doesn't matter because they created manners and all that. That's number one. To me, that's number one. I don't care.
Work ethic.
If they get in the ring, okay. If they don't get in the ring, I'm not going to treat that kid because that kid's a fighter.
but Leo, but Leo, that's you. That's what you demand there too, because you set a tone for these kids. And I've said this before. I helped Joseph Janik, who I trained with, and I won my 2 world titles with back in Ventura, California. He had a kids program, and those kids were well behaved. Those kids were like, because Haas set a tone, and even in the gym, he set a tone. So it's the same thing with Derik at the PAL with us. I mean, it's a tone that's set by you guys, and that's kudos to the trainers, to the coaches, like the 2 of you, for setting that tone. That's a huge responsibility. You're almost like a father to these kids, and a lot of these kids coming in, like, listen, boxing doesn't attract the most emotionally stable, because I certainly wasn't one, and I had to be. Luigi was my first coach, and he had to kind of like train me, like reteach me, and I always said boxing taught me what my parents couldn't. But that's also by the guidance of the coaches.
Right. Yeah. Well, and some of the things we don't want to know, right, Derik?
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. You either love it or you don't, and it's part of it comes with the territory. I feel like sometimes I've heard some coaches in the past say, "Oh, like they don't think about it, or they're not going to be babysitters." It's not about being a babysitter.
No.
I think that my life, it's not only coaching in the ring, but it's coaching outside of the ring and just advising them. And obviously there's only so much we can do, but whatever you can do and whatever positive advisement you can give, you should give it. And if that's, whether that's listening to a young man or a young lady who might be having issues at home, who might be having, who their parents might be having financial issues or school issues, you never know. We get all kinds of situations like that at the PAL, and then you kind of find out, certain things, and sometimes me and the coach get together. Oh, well, that would explain this and that, and that's why you can't turn your back on You can't turn your back on anybody. It's never really about can they fight. It's, can they succeed in life? If they happen to be able to also fight, then that's a bonus that, everybody gets.
But, I think that's kind of how Mike Tyson was discovered to a degree too, though. I mean, think about what Customato did with Mike Tyson. Customato, he knew that he had, something special, but he also gave a crap about Tyson's, quality of life.
Mm-hmm. He gave it
right. Well, I think it builds self-esteem too.
Yeah.
And it's funny. A lot of these kids, it definitely it helps their self-esteem a lot, because from my point of view, because I'm a middle school teacher also, and I've known kids that have taken up boxing and things like that. And when you're a student of boxing, you're going in that gym, you're learning something new every day when you're a beginner, and you're doing things that you never thought you could do before. And then when you start sparring and you're overcoming things that you never thought you could overcome before. Because sparring, for a beginner, for a student, is no different than getting into a fight in the hallway. They're going to be, they're going to have nerves going in there, but then they're going to see that they can get out of that situation without being terribly hurt. And they're going to learn to relax more. They're going to, it builds their self-esteem, builds their confidence. And the more they stick to it, I think that, and you can see it in kids that, like, look at a kid like Trap, that kid's got all the confidence in the world, and I'm sure if you ask him, a lot of it has to do with his,
boxing,
with being in boxing for so long.
Yeah.
And he started at a young age,
Yeah. And sometimes it's an outlet,
it goes back to what Derik, and Maureen said, we're like fathers to these kids, whether you like it or not. But some coaches will say, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm here to train, and that's that. But we're not that way. We succeed in life. We want them to go to college.
And
we want
them and that's part of, and
it's we for the Golden Gloves, and Spencer Kishball, he's a 15-year-old boxer of mine. He's 15, 6'2", 152 pounds.
Wow.
This kid is phenomenal. Coach came up to him and said, another coach came up to him, and he said, oh, how you doing? And he goes, oh, good. And he goes, I'm thinking about quitting football to just stay into boxing. And I said, Spencer, your parents don't have money for you to go to college. I said, you have to do both. Help through life. I said, yes, you know, is there a chance that you could do something? You have to give everything up in your whole life, but because you're a great football player. You're going to get a scholarship. This is going to help.
And boxing's always going to be there. Boxing's always going to be there.
Right. You know,
Yeah,
and I was
yeah,
like,
we had a
did I say the wrong thing? Absolutely not. I would want somebody else to say that to one of my kids. Hey, my youngest daughter, she got a scholarship to play basketball. And if somebody would have said to her, you should just box. You know how long it's going to take for somebody to be a world champion? Maureen knows right there. She's 2-time world champion right there. It takes your whole life.
Yeah.
That's your whole life.
Yeah, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of
soccer. Absolutely not.
Well, you know what happened to me? I actually lost my academic scholarship because of boxing. I had an academic scholarship to go to college, but because it wasn't recognized as a collegiate sport, I lost my academic scholarship and I had to go and take out a student loan, and that was difficult, that I wasn't supported, and that's why I'm, when the time comes, I want to make a scholarship for young girls so that they can still box and still go to school. And have that available to them, because I know what it's like to have that taken and have to figure it out. And I lived off campus housing with like 3 girls, and 2 of them were like one of them was on the volleyball team, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, talk about, this girl got to use the gym. I was running in the snow and she's out there, and I'm like, and didn't even like, I mean, no disrespect to her, but I'm sitting there going, do you even appreciate the fact you have a full ride to school and all this stuff you're allowed to use the gym, and I couldn't use any of that? And I had to pay for a membership to a gym to use a treadmill.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing. We had a kid down here just recently, who started coming to the gym, and he came to both of the gyms we were working at. And one day, his father caught me outside and said, my son just started doing this. But he goes, I'm not sure why he wanted to do this. And I said, well, what do you mean? And I had no idea that this kid was like a high school athlete star. Like, he was, courted, recruited from football. His father showed me that he played basketball. He's one of the better ones on the team. And he was a left-handed pitcher that also got interest. And I was like, what's going on here with this? It surprised me. And he says to me, well, I don't know. My son's good at all these sports, but he's not good at boxing. For some reason, he wants to he wanted a challenge. He wanted a challenge. I said to the father, well, he's an athlete. As long as he wants to come, we'll keep teaching him. But I did talk to the kid by myself later that night. And I told him, hey, listen, man, I said, we're going to keep working with you and everything, but just like Leo said, I'm like, if you actually have colleges looking at you for baseball, if you got recruiters looking at you for baseball, for football, you had them for basketball and you just stopped. And he just stopped playing. Apparently his junior year, he just stopped playing. And I said to him, you have to be a little smarter with that, get that education, just like that clip that Muhammad Ali had the other day on Facebook. I seen it come out where he talked about, get your mind right, get your stuff in order, and
right.
Boxing, just because somebody makes it, you shouldn't tell everybody that everybody's gonna make it, because very few make it. And as much as I love the sport, you gotta have a plan B.
Right. Right.
Well, so let me ask you a question. I know what Derik says to some of the parents, but as for you, when the parents come in and they how do you, I don't want to say convince them, but I know a lot of parents don't necessarily want their kids to box, but they understand, or maybe they want their kids to do the workout, but not fight. How do you start to kind of talk to the parents, or what do you say to the parents to reassure them or let them know that, this is okay, they're safe here, and, like, or not deter them from having their kid possibly who wants to fight?
Yeah. So what we do is we bring them in, and we tell the parents that the kids come in and they want a box. So what we do is in 3 days a week, and we tell them, look, we'll have them come in. We'll train with them 3 days a week for about 2 months. We'll see how it goes from there. And then if we notice a kid has parents, we'll be like, look, we'd like your son or daughter to come in a couple more days a week. And then before we would even put them in somebody, we talk to the parents. But I've never had any problem by doing it that way. I guess maybe it's because of my coach. We're straight up with them in the beginning. We tell them, look, some people are great at training, but some people can't stand to take a punch and then they'll leave. And that's what we don't want to happen. We want the kids to stay there full time, because even if they're not sparring, they're still part of the team. We bring them in. If we go to an event, I'll take certain kids with me, get them in for free, get them to fight, cheer their teammate on. That's just as important to me and to Abel as anything else. We want them to be discouraged. We want them to feel comfortable before we take that next step. That's how I handle it. Behind us 100%, with our choices. And usually the parents come in and when we tell them, the first time that they're going to spar, we tell the parents, you could come in and watch. You have to stand over there out of the way, so it's it's not too hard on you or your daughter. But that's how we handle it. And going back to what Derik was saying, so I was a catcher. I had a scholarship. I could have went to college, but I got pissed off one game, and I took my uniform off in the dugout. My father drove next to me, told me in my shorts. My dad's like, "You're blowing it. You're blowing it. What are you doing?" And yeah, I got my ass kicked when I got home that night, and I never went back to playing baseball again because I felt that I was cheated because my coach didn't stand up for me at what I was doing. And make a long story short, do I regret not going and playing baseball? I wasn't the guy that was going to be in school. If I was the party guy, that's what I was going to do. And I was only there to play ball because I didn't allow myself to do it. And I don't want the kids to, I don't want these other kids to miss their opportunity just because of something stupid, because I went through it. You know what I mean?
All right. So I have a question.
You had a good coach.
I have a quick question for you in regards to what you would tell parents that are watching this, because I know a lot of parents reach out to me and they ask me about boxing for their kids, whether it's son or daughters, and what would you recommend, or what advice would you give parents or maybe a parent has a troubled kid and wants to get them into boxing? What message or what would you advise them to do? Or what do you think? I want to hear that from your side.
To get a child into it?
Yeah, if like two sides. First one is say they have it. Well, say the first one is, okay, they have a kid, they have a son or daughter, and they see that they're struggling with discipline or energy or emotions. Like, what would you say to them about getting them into boxing? Like, what do you think the benefits would be to help them if they got into boxing?
Well, help because it's going to release their anger. They have anger issues. Maybe somebody is picking on them at school. Maybe they're always in trouble. We have a few of those that have brought those kids into us, and we say, have them. Just let us have them for a couple weeks, see how it goes. I've had numerous parents come back to us and say, I don't know what you did, but they're helping us around the house, They're not so violent. They're very respectful now. Because the thing is we have rules at the gym. And the rules are no drugs, no alcohol being outside the gym, and you have to be respectful to your parents and your elders, whoever. And we just let them come to the gym, and we go through it. We try to talk to the child, know them for a little bit, and see what's bothering them. Eventually, you'll find all that out. You'll find that some kid's picking on him, or he's not being or he tried for football and he knows he's better than this person. And the only reason the kid's the other kid is starting is because his parents and so on. So that's how I handle it.
It's all self-esteem.
We've had a lot of, I've had parents write letters that we post in the gym for how thankful they are for what's happened. Honestly,
that's awesome.
Got in trouble. I like to fight. I like to, get in trouble. And when I was growing up, so I can relate to a lot of these kids. And I think that's very helpful. Sometimes, do you think you're getting a little bit too involved? And then I'll think about it. And sometimes I step back a little bit and let that kid come to me, and
yeah.
But I mean, that's how I handle it.
No, I think that's great. And I think, I think there's a lot of gyms and a lot of places out there that, kids can go to, hopefully, right now, maybe even, I know you guys, so you have Rocky's Boxing, you have a website, you have an Instagram, you have a Facebook, correct?
Yes.
And so you're doing live workout videos. Are you guys doing that now? Or I spoke to Nicole, one of your young amateurs, and she said that you're sending you're sending everybody workout videos and stuff. So how can people follow you and find out more about, what you do and
Well, they could reach me at which is RockyBoxingBerwick.com. They can follow me. Instagram is the easiest. That's under Rocky Boxing, and we have a Facebook page, Rocky Boxing Club. And they can email me at RockyBoxingClub2016 @gmail.com for any questions. And you can instant message me on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram. I post a lot of stuff. And now that we're not allowed to be at the gyms, what I've been doing for my adult classes, we have 34 people in our adult class.
Wow.
And I send them a video. I send them every day. Me and I video the exercises, and we do all that on WhatsApp. And I send them their workout for the day, and they love to get great responses. I appreciate you taking the time and this, that, and the other, but it keeps them also motivated, so they don't lose. That lost 99 pounds. She lost before she came to us, and by doing our workouts and staying positive, she kept going. There's a lot of them. And I tell those people, don't worry about what the scale says. Worry about how you feel. How your clothes fit.
Yep, exactly. Right. And I gotta Laz said hello, and he asked me before. He said, "Is it snowing in Berwick?"
No, it's not snowing. It rained all day today.
So where exactly is Berwick, Pennsylvania? We were trying to explain this to everybody before.
So we're northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm about 40 minutes from Wilkes-Barre, and I'm about 10 minutes from Bloomsburg University. So you have King's College and Wilkes College, Barre, and Bloomsburg University. So that's where we're located.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Leo, for coming on and sharing and just like letting us know and sharing with the community. Just like, Yeah, what you guys do. I mean, it's really, I mean, I wanted to have you on for a while. I'm glad that we have this video now so people can actually see you. And, because people saw, the pictures and the videos that I took when I went out there, and we'll post more on the Canvas podcast from Derik and my trip out to Berwick with the girls and the young amateurs, all of the amateurs that you have, and the gym, the facility you have is beautiful. I mean, we want our Boca Pal to copy that too, because we just love the way the facility looks, and I know we love your ring, especially me. But yeah, it's such a pleasure, and now you're like family to us, and we're so grateful. And I guess we should thank Laz for that hookup. We'll give Laz a special shout out for that hookup.
Well, everybody, there's meaning behind everything that we're doing, and
that's right.
And the people you meet, automatically whether
they're going to be a reason, a season, or a lifetime, right? That's they say when you meet people.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
I love that.
Right.
That's right. You just know sometimes, but I just want to thank you so much for coming on and being a part of our 30th episode.
Yeah, thank you, Leo. It was nice meeting you. Nice talking to you.
And we'll have you on again next time. Next time you guys have an event, we'll definitely have you guys on.
Keep slipping, rolling. Keep slipping, rolling, and punching.
All right. Hey.
All right. Take care, Leo.
You guys have a great night.
Stay well. Stay safe. You too. Thanks. You too. God bless.
Okay. Right. Take care, Leo.
Bye-bye.
So, well, that was.
Look at that. We just saw that bigger.
You guys look so clear, and I look so like shiny and dark.
I think it's the lighting where you're at.
Maybe my camera's dirty.
Maybe it's the lighting.
You think it's your camera?
Can I just show you my dog? I want to show you my dog right now. That's his bed. Okay, he literally just he jumped up on there. Yeah, he's spoiled. But I'm so glad we had Leo on. He's great. He's really. I hope the sound and everybody. I mean, he's not the only one. There's so many trainers out there in this world that are doing things like that. And it's important that their messages get out there, and for trainers even that are people that want to do something like what Leo's doing, reach out to him. We have it on the lower left-hand corner, Rocky Boxing Berwick, and hit him up on Instagram and ask him how he did it. If you need some guidance, he did it, and it's successful. I mean, Derik, you saw it. He's doing successful shows.
Very nice gym, very nice
well
show.
done. He's got the blueprint. He knows how to do it. He knows what he's doing, and he can help guide. I know he would be more than happy to help guide anybody that is looking to start something like what he's got.
Yeah, I'm
he
sure
started and expanded. Yeah, what's interesting about him is that, like many people, he didn't have to do that. Like, he has a successful business. Him and his wife, are doing well. And then, like he said to me, one day he just got the inkling to do something, and almost like I don't want to get too religious, but almost like Noah, he built the ark,
Yeah.
and it worked out.
But it could have been. But that could be. Listen. And I spoke about my Christianity and how I feel like God has completely guided my whole career, and everything that I've done has been God motivated and God influenced, including my move to California. If my move from New York to New Jersey to California to Florida, it's all been because of God. So for me, I mean, I think that's 100% true. I think that God put it on his heart, and he said, I got to do this. This is one thing, and I'm not going to turn this into a sermon, but when God puts something on your heart, it's almost hard to deny it. It's almost hard to not do it, and I know for me with boxing, that was here. I mean, it's still here. So it's like, okay, I'm still supposed to be doing this. I can't deny it, and I can't push it away because it's what I'm supposed to be doing. And I think with Leo, he knew that was meant for him, and he was supposed to be doing this. And look at the lives he's touched. That's such beautiful work. That's such beautiful work.
When something's tugging you from inside, and it's sometimes people ask me, why, how you still do this and that, and how can you, after so many years, still have passion for, like, even if you're at the professional level, but we see you trying to help the kids too all the time, and you're in the gym a lot. It's like, man, it's not about patting me on the back.